Hello, welcome to my series about all Chopin's music. Today we finish another opus, opus 25. 12 etudes opus 25, today number 12, opus 25 number 12, etude in C minor. So Chopin closes the whole cycle of 12 etudes. And how he decided to close it? And is there any other etude that is similar to this one? And if yes, why? Just listen and enjoy my fully open piano for the first time in this project. For the first time since 2 years I decided to open the piano. I don't know how my microphone will handle that, but for this etude we really need the full sound. This room is not big, but for this etude we need a concert piano. My piano is just a baby grand piano. I can't afford a piano, concert piano is costs like a house. I could build a house from this, at least in Poland. But I will imagine that when I have a fully open piano, we have a fully concert grand piano. Okay, so first let's listen and then compare and then make an analysis. A lot of emotions, a lot of drama, but also a victory at the end. But is there any other etude that is similar? I know I have a lot of smart students in front of my camera listening to my videos. Some of you listen to all my videos, some of you listen to most of my videos, and some of you are good pianists yourself. So probably many of you already answered well. Opus 10, number 1. Also full sound, also the arpeggios up and down, and also a chorale in the bass. These are all similarities that we have in these two etudes. And is it a coincidence? I don't think so. Trying to think like Chopin thought, I came up to the conclusion for 1,000 times that he was a genius, that his idea was brilliant. He opened the whole cycle of 24 studies with C major chorale. He ends with C minor chorale that changes to C major. So we have the circle. We went on a trip. We played number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 12, number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and we are 24, and the ending of 24 touches the beginning of Opus 10. How absolutely great it is. Sometimes I'm tempted to play on the concert all the 24 etudes, starting from the last one and ending at the first one, and I'm sure it would work as well, even though the beginning would be a little bit too much. But you know, like in Hitchcock movies, everything starts from a huge bam, you know, drama, and then it only goes up and up and up. I love this saying. Of course, maybe that's a crazy idea, but why not to try one time? We have a circle, but first let the tradition continue. Difficulties of this etude. So they are quite similar to Etude Opus 10 number 1, but in Opus 10 number 1 we had only right hand going up and down. Here we have both hands. But for all you that never played this etude or that you are not a musician, I want to say from my perspective and from perspective of probably all concert pianists or most of concert pianists, this etude of tonight is much easier than the first one. Much easier. Maybe you are surprised because you think, oh, 2 hands has to go. Oh, it looks so difficult. It's so virtuoso. It's so hard. It's not. Maybe because we already learned 23 other etudes and our technique is fantastic. Should be. So it's not that difficult for us. Maybe that's the reason. But I think there must be more than only this reason. I was thinking a lot why this etude is so comfortable to play. And, well, of course there are many difficulties I'm going to talk about, but comparing to Opus 10 number 1, there is a fundamental difference. In Opus 10 number 1, the arpeggio that we had up and down was constructed from very uncomfortable for hand and very wide. We call it a decim. I don't know in English. It's octave plus third. So it's a right, and it's, trust me, if you're not a pianist, you know. If you're a pianist, you know. But if you're not, it's very uncomfortable for the hand. This is very comfortable for the hand because everything is in the area of octave. So we can play all this etude and practice it, and I strongly recommend you to practice like this, just playing chords. like to practice like this, and when I have all the chord in my hand, I usually play clean. So, frankly, I don't have technical problems with this etude. And even if I play it very short, the only problem that I have, and that you probably heard when I played it for the first time, was not technical. It was only the problem of memory. Because I played very short, I recently learned it. I don't know, I only maybe practiced it 2 weeks or something like this, 2.5 maybe. And because of it's so short, I memorized it immediately. I always memorize pieces immediately. Don't worry, I'm going to record another video about tutorial and my advices, and I tell you how the hell it was possible for me to prepare 24 etudes in 24 days. Of course, it was not 24 days. Of course, I practiced them before, but still, it was a race. It was like, you know, I've had a feeling of tsunami. Tsunami of the time pressure. But this maybe we talk at the end of this video, and I will make another video to tell you how I do it. But because I memorized it recently, sometimes when I play it so fast, I don't think that fast like I play. And that's why I sometimes hesitate. But technically, it's not difficult. Of course, what are difficulties? 2 hands together, we never had it. They play up and down, but you know, they don't play the same notes. The right hand plays, maybe we can zoom a little. Let's zoom a little. We always zoomed, so we zoom now. The right hand plays like this. And if we use the wrist, and if we have the whole chord prepared, it's much easier to play. But the left hand has different notes, but also has everything in the octave. So look. And so on. So what are the difficulties? Well, we have to play very fast, 2 hands, dramatic and very loud all the time, from the beginning to the end. So of course we need to have a very relaxed here hand, but extremely strong fingers. Fingers must be like a stone. Here, fingertips, right? But all the rest of the hand must be flexible. If it's not relaxed, this is what I wanted to say, relaxed, not flexible. If it's not relaxed, then what happened? And I experienced that, not me, but my students. After 1 minute, they can move hand. They cannot move the hands. They have been so much pain. They cannot play. So, I mean, usually when it happens, we stop playing this etude. We work on the technique first. Sometimes with young guys, especially young boys, it's almost impossible to do, because you know they want to play fast and they want to play this etude. Everybody wants to play, so it's very difficult. But if I always try to convince them, I have many different methods. First, learn how to be relaxed, and then go back to this etude. Because if you learn it with bad technique, probably you will never play it well. Because, as I said in the other video about this, you know, our muscles have also memory. That's the problem. So, coordination also of 2 hands together. With that we can practice staccato. So that we have impulses at the very same time together. And definitely we have to learn every hand separately. It's a must in this piece. You have to be able to play in the fast tempo every hand separately to be able to play this etude clean later, hands together. because there is always one hand that you have to control consciously when you play together, but another hand has to be able to play clean without you to control it consciously. So your subconscious has to control the hand. And how to do it? First, learn it separately. Okay, anyway. So that's the main difficulty, and of course the emotions. But now let's go to the analysis of emotions and the structure. So it's very easy. So it's going to be very short. The structure, when we look at this etude from up, from the high perspective, it is so clear and so easily constructed. Why? Just like Etude Opus 10 number 1, the idea of this etude is the chorale played in the church organ by pedal, using the keyboard of the legs. And now I play for you only this chorale. Oh, excuse me, that's how usually looks the first lesson with me on this etude. The whole lesson we work on the chorale only the chorale. This part sounds good if we close the light. Should play the whole etude with light closed, but this part is very scary of the chorale. Okay, it was the middle part. So the chorale, just like we had in Opus 10 number 1. If you didn't watch my analysis of that etude, please do so. It's interesting and there is a lot in common. So probably also could catch the phrases. If you couldn't, we do it now together. Very, very simple. But now I play the whole, so I play the chorale and all the church organ imitation of the full piano. So, the first musical period, very regular. The first antecedent phrase. Sung by the choral, by the choir, but then somewhere we have somebody else suffering. But this is just like instead of the silence we have this, and then the consequent phrase. Something fantastic happens. Instead of another suffering answer. Instead of a silence, we are celebrating the C major, because we reached the major, and we have, let's call it part B, and we have celebration of C major, and then later Chopin puts the same phrase in another key, A flat major. Listen this. And the same phrase in A flat major. Here we have this. I can't play the whole with with my light closed and turned off. So anyway, this is part C. It's the heart of the piece. It's the middle part of the piece. And here we have something fantastic happening with the energy. Chopin is building up the energy, starting from a little bit down in his way. So I'm sure now if you watched my other videos, you know I told you many times that Chopin's phrasing was short, short, long. Here we have exactly this. So listen, short, another short, the same, back at the beginning of the piece. So recapitulation, easy. So this part C is constructed in such a way that we are standing up and going a little down, standing more up and then going a little down, and standing up and celebrating and then coming back to the beginning of the piece. Listen again, standing up. The second time. Excuse me. And the third time. So this was the first phrase of the beginning, and it was exactly the same. Then the second phrase is different. It's a little longer. It's more triumphal, but it ends exactly in C major, just like part B, and we will have part B instead of the coda. So we don't really have the coda here. We just have the celebration of victory, of C major. We managed to learn all the 24 etudes. Chopin is giving us C major as a reward. Let's celebrate the victory. Second consequent phrase. Yes, but now I want to play it again because I had a lot of memory problems. I'm a little distracted, I talk too much. It's extremely difficult to talk and play at the same time, especially the piece that is so fresh. So let me concentrate and play it again. I play the whole recapitulation for you. Phrase B. And that's the end of this masterpiece. Easy construction, I think, very easy to follow. My recommendation, listen to the chorale, and you can enjoy the scary or the very solemn dark chorale that gets brighter and that ends in C major as a resurrection, as an optimism, as a winning with death. Now let's listen again from the beginning with my guiding of the construction, and let's think about life and death. First phrase. Consequent phrase. Major. Part C, we are standing up. And with this last chord, we finished our journey through all the 24 etudes. But also, with this last chord, I finished my project that was sponsored by Polish Ministry of Culture. The project that lasted 1 year, and in which in 1 year I had to prepare videos, lectures with analysis of all Chopin's solo music for piano, without mazurkas, because mazurkas I made in 2020. I would like to thank you very much to our Polish Ministry of Culture. I'm proud that my country has the ministry that believed in me, because you know, I applied with my crazy project. There were people who were looking at it, and I know about some of my friends that also applied, that they didn't get it. One didn't get it because the ministry answered to him that what you wrote is impossible. Another didn't get it because he wrote the project for 1 year, and they wrote back to him that we think you can do it in 6 months, so please apply for 6 months. They believed in me, and they thought this is something that can change, in a way, the world of art. When I started, I thought I'm crazy. January 2021, I looked at my schedule. Maybe I have it somewhere here. Maybe not, maybe yes, maybe not, I don't know. I would love to show you this, but no, I don't think I can. Oh yes, I do. But oh gosh, no, I will laugh, but that's how looks my schedule for the whole year. Oh my God. Yes, my friends, it starts here. The first was the 2nd of January, Ballad G minor, and then all the ballads, all the waltzes, Andante spianato and the Grand Polonaise, all the polonaises, Berceuse and Barcarolle, all the scherzos, all the sonatas, all the nocturnes, Tarantella, Bolero, Fantasy in F minor, all the preludes. That was hard. Impromptus, all of them, all the rondos, and now all the etudes. Thanks God I forgot to put 2 pieces in this schedule. Thanks God, because it would be even harder for me to fulfill. A very difficult Allegro de Concert, which I'm going to do, don't worry, and Rondo alla Mazur, which I'm also going to do. And the 3 etudes. Maybe you wonder why we don't have posthumous works. Because this project was only for solo piano pieces that were published during Chopin's life. If I had to do posthumous, I would never be able to make a schedule for only 1 year. But don't worry, I don't leave you. I will continue. I will try to present other videos. First of all, of course, we have to finish the 3 additional etudes. We have to make Allegro de Concert, and we have to make Rondo alla Mazur, and then maybe pieces for piano and orchestra, and also posthumous works. Thank you all very, very much. You have no idea how much you helped me. You have no idea how many breakdowns I had during this year, how many times I thought I will not make it. It's too little time. I can't prepare the pieces. I can't make analysis. It's always hard work. I was practicing all days long. The whole year was very difficult. What a satisfaction I have now. All your comments and all your presence in my videos is precious to me, priceless to me. So I'm deeply thankful, because you give me the really feeling of some higher sense of what I'm doing. Thanks a lot, and see you again in my next videos. Take care. Bye bye.